Hi, I'm Stephen Amoyo. I am a multidisciplinary designer with a focus on architecture, interior design, and furniture design. And this is the architecture of cinema, featuring 7 Sundays, or as I'd like to call it, 4 siblings and a cancer. Directed by Cathy Molina, written by Rubella Monge, Kiko Arbilo, John Rafael Gonzaga, and Vanessa Valdez, who's a good friend of the pod. The pod! Who's a good friend of mine, and she also wrote Four Sisters and The Wedding. Speaking of Four Sisters, I feel like yung success ng Four Sisters was capitalized on by the industry, as they should. And the hype made them create a new film na meron ding, family sagutan, mga monologue na we can only imagine saying to our family. And before you say anything, both Four Sisters and 7 Sundays were directed by Cathy Garcia-Molina. So I guess it's a fair jumping off point with the comparison. And also, while writing this essay, ang dami ko ding realizations about Four Sisters. So yeah, we're gonna use it as a jumping off point. And maybe in the future, pag napanood ko na yung meet, greet, and goodbye, I'm gonna use 7 Sundays and Four Sisters as a jumping off point. 7 Sundays, released in 2017, is a Filipino family drama about the Bonifacio siblings. Alan, played by Aga Muhlach, Brian by Dingdong Dantes, Cha by Cristine Reyes, and Dexter by Enrique Gil, who reunite after their widowed father, Manuel, played by Ronaldo Valdez, is diagnosed with terminal cancer and given only a few months to live. Manuel expresses his final wish to spend his remaining Sundays with his estranged children, forcing them to confront long-buried tensions, resentments, and personal issues. The siblings all deal with their own life struggles, financial, marital, and emotional, struggled to reconcile with Brian and Alan harboring deep-seated jealousy and resentment. It is later revealed that Manuel does not have a terminal cancer but actually has tuberculosis, a fact he hid to bring his family back together. Despite the deception, the siblings work through their conflicts, forging a more forgiving bond with each other and their father. The entire premise of the film was dark. It's about cancer, death, and deep-seated jealousy, resentments. If you've seen the film, magigets mo na it's about, they were trying to make it funny while the main issue was cancer and death and everyone dealing with this deep emotional pain. And then nilalagyan nila ng comedy, which gets naman na kailangan pang pamilya, 'di ba? Para pumunta na sa pinakamalapit na sinihan. Pero kasi, ito na yung first comparison ko sa Four Sisters. Yung Four Sisters, yung main issue nila is yung wedding. Something super light, and it made me feel weird na biglang may comedy, biglang may Ryan Bang sa, ewan ko. With that being said, did I like the film? Of course. Mga 10 times akong medyo umiyak. Okay, the characters. We see the 4 main archetypes of Filipino siblings, at least in the Cathy Garcia multiverse. And honestly, good for her. Like, kuwang-kuha niya yung kiliti ng mga Pinoy sa ginawa niyang multiverse of siblings. Okay, Alan, insecure panganay, played by Aga Muhlach. Brian, siya yung matalino, maganda, pero para sa kanya parang wala lang, played by Dingdong Dantes. Cha, yung homemaker, played by Cristine Reyes. Dexter, yung black sheep, played by Enrique Gil. The difference between the sibling archetypes in these two films is that in Four Sisters, they played along with the okay lang yan, pamilya tayo, dapat sama-sama. Pero yung 7 Sundays, they didn't even try.
So, hindi ka makakarating.
Tay, pasensya na kasi
Ang down.
madaling araw pa yung...
Tay, pasensya na kasi malaking kliyente yun. Maraming pipiliin.
Ganun ba? O sige, bye-bye.
Down, to go.
Alam nila sa isa't isa na paki kayo, bahala kayo sa buhay nyo. Habang pinapanood ko yung film, ang tumatakbo sa isip ko parang, oh my gosh, lahat kayo ayaw ko. Unlike sa Four Sisters na parang, I love you, Bobby. Gets na gets kita, Bobby. Pero dito sa Seven Sundays, parang deserve nyo lahat magkaroon ng problema sa buhay. Parang antasama ng ugali nyo. Okay, let's compare. Dex to Alex. Si Alex kayod eh. Ginagawa niya kasi proud doon si mama. Kasi 'di ba, yung passion niya kasi yun yung ikaka-proud ng nanay niya yun. Pero si Dex parang tanga lang. Okay, Alan to Teddy. Si Teddy, daming work, katulong, waitress. Tapos si Alan, nakuha pa niyang magkaroon ng empleyado. Bankrupt na siya. May empleyado pa, tapos may 2 pang anak. Ang galing. Kala ko ba, anak ka pa? Napakagaling, nag-anak pa. Si Cha, galit na galit. Okay, si Cha to Gabi. Si Gabi kasi ang galing niya eh. Parang pro na siya sa pagiging homemaker kahit wala pa siyang asawa at anak. Pero si Cha, parang codependent. Masyado ka bang binaby? Si Brian to Bobby. Si Bobby nag-abroad para suportahan yung pamilya. Kasi nga magka-college na si CJ. Tapos si Alex, ayokong patigilin sa pagpipelikula dahil doon nagiging proud sa kanya si mama. Dahil passion niya yun. Kabisado. Kabisado. Pero kasi si Brian, iniwan niya yung pamilya niya. Like, inabandon niya yung pamilya niya. Tapos ginagawa niyang excuse yun to be a fucking asshole. Tapos putang ina ang yabang. But maybe these characters were designed to be unlikable. Stay with me here. In design, there's this thing called strategic disruption, where we skew the perception of the end user, making something look wrong to make the end user ask na, wait, ba't parang mali? But in reality, yung pagkakamaling yon makes everything sing. Okay, in classical architecture or even neoclassical architecture, mapapansin niyo na yung gitna ng isang mahabang colonnade, like yung gitnang piece niya, is actually wider than the rest of the columns. That tiny uwang tells the end user na dapat dito ka pumasok. Ito yung main entrance. This is where you get the full experience. And it's designed to be like that. Mukha siyang mali, pero tama siya. It plays with our brain. Pwede din siyang i-apply sa graphic design where everything seemed like everything's in order except isang detail na parang mali. Pero it makes everything cohesive actually. This is how they designed the Salazar siblings. They seemed perfect. Perfect, grabe. Perfect daughters. Pero may isang flaw sila sa character nila na it made them likable. It made them complex and relatable. It made them human. But the opposite is true with the Bonifacio siblings. In a group of characters that's highly unlikable, they manage to slip a sliver of positivity towards the end. This makes them likable, even aspirational towards the end of the film. They are written in a way na dapat hopeless case na yung relationship na to, and yung resolution sa dulo made it more impactful. In a way, they teach us that there's hope kahit na dapat wala na. So yeah, make your characters imperfect. Make your buildings imperfect. Make your graphic design imperfect. Pero, huwag niyong gagawing imperfect yung furniture design, because there's a very thin line between furniture and sculpture. But I digress. Let's move on to the architecture. Okay, first is the Bonifacio house. The film starts in this Filipino 80s style house sa Batangas. Few defining features would be the windows. Meron siyang, etong weird kasi meron siyang kalados, meron siyang jalousie, tapos meron din siyang awning. So I would assume dati siyang bahay na bato, tapos ginawa nilang modern. One thing to point out is that is that comically huge home sign sa harap ng bahay. And I think it signals na the house trying its best to label itself as a home. Kasi nga hindi siya home. Siya yung dun walang tao eh. Umalis na sila. It's not a home anymore. Or like it's never been a home kasi lahat ng nila trauma nila dito nangyari. I want to talk about this confrontation scene sa terrace ng bahay.
Hindi mo. Asan na yung Ira? Nasaan? Bex, grow up!
This scene was probably shot more than 5 times. Isang shot per tao. Or at least, yun yung way of thinking ko. Kasi tinanong ko kay Ate Van, paano nangyari yung confrontation scene sa Four Sisters. And the way she explained it is, kada isang tao, may isang take. So, ilang tao yun sa scene? Parang 7. Ang dami nila. So, 7 take. Tapos, nasa loob sila ng bahay. Tapos, kulo, bawal yung AC, bawal electric fan. Tapos, studio lights. So, feeling ko, sinadjust ng team ni Direk Cathy na sa labas na lang tayo mag-shoot. Kasi ang init sa loob. Tapos, compared sa Salazar House, yung Bonifacio House, hindi pa siya high ceiling. So, it would make sense na sa labas sila mag-shoot. Okay, there's this specific moment where Tatay goes down the terrace. And this is like a masterclass on film choreography where si Tatay gusto niyang mag-de-escalate yung situation. So he's literally going down. He's physically de-escalating kasi he wants to de-escalate the situation. So, nagamit yung hagdan sa terrace. Next is the dining area. Considering that this is a Cathy Garcia film, gusto kong i-point out yung kitchen scene. Let's compare it sa Four Sisters. Sa Four Sisters, mapapansin natin na may kanya-kanya silang pinggan. Kanya-kanya silang pwesto sa dining table.
Tochi, si Ate Teddy na ulit dyan. Balik na ako dito.
Kaya kung kay Bobby.
Manang, kay Ate Teddy yan.
Pero sa Bonifacio House, generic yung mga plato. Kahit saan umuupo sila. Wala silang specific. Dito upo si Kuya. Dito si Bunso. And I feel like there's a poetry there na wala sa magkakapatid na to ever felt na may lugar sila sa bahay ng tatay nila. And yeah, this is like an example of Direk Cathy referencing her old works na if she took the time to arrange the chairs and sent people out to buy plates na designated sa mga Salazar siblings, baka sinasadya niya na itong dining scene na to would be designed na parang wala silang pwesto sa bahay na to. Next is the ABS Family Store. Pansinin niyo yung family store sa beginning ng film. Tama yung spelling, di ba? And then, nung nagkakaroon na ng rising action na, papunta na tayo sa climax. Check niyo ulit yung spelling. Family Store. Kasi nga, nasira na yung family. Inedit kaya nila yun sa post o tinanggal talaga nila yung letrang S before shooting? Habang nasa topic tayo ng tindahan, Gusto ko lang i-point out yung main problem ni Alan, ni Aga Muhlach dito sa film na to, which is malulugi na yung tindahan. Yung concept ng tindahan, hindi naman siya specific sa Philippines. Merong mom and pop store sa US, tapos meron din namang bakala sa Middle East. Yung problema ni Alan, napalugi na yung tindahan niya. Parang hindi siya believable for me. I remember having this discussion sa college na alam ko urban planning class siya. Tapos tinanong ng prof na bakit nagta-thrive ang tindahan kahit meron ng 7-Eleven, mini-stop, or grocery stores. And the answer to that question is another question. Bakit? Pwede bang umutang sa 7-Eleven? On top of a convenience store being a corporate thing, this concept simply doesn't go well with the Filipino concept of township or barangay. According to a UNESCO report, hiya or shame is a defining characteristic of the Filipino in the context of a barangay. We value relationships and protect them with shame. Kaya tayo pwedeng umutang sa tindahan kasi ang pag-utang may kasamang hiya. This is a reminder that urban spaces like tindahans hold a meaning kahit na hindi natin na-feel. Even for some, pwede siyang makonsider as third space. Personally, hindi ko mabilang yung number of times na pupunta ako sa tindahan para bumili ng manok, tapos tatanungin ng may-ari ng tindahan, ano ba ilulutuin mo para mahiwa niya yung manok ng tama. Tapos from there, mag-usap na kami. Magkakaroon na ng conversation. Magkakaroon na ng relationship. So, it could be considered as a third space. And idagdag mo pa yung mga tambay. So, third space nila yung tindahan. It takes a different kind of business acumen para malugi yung tindahan sa isang barangay. Grabe naman, Alan. Next is the honor roll. This is where we talk about things that are not necessarily architecture related, pero I appreciate it. For this film, I only have one major honor roll, and that's the parallels between households of the siblings and their dynamics sa family. Let's start with Cha. Sa Bonifacio household, si Cha, siya yung prinsesa. Pero pagdating sa sarili niyang bahay, parang nagkaroon ng 180 degrees na parang pagod na pagod, tapos yung asawa niya manloloko. Si Alan naman, siya yung paborito ng tatay niya, 'di ba? Pero yung sarili niyang anak, iba yung paborito. Ang paborito si Brian. Tapos si Brian na hindi paborito ng tatay niya, paborito siya ng anak ni Alan. Tapos si Dex na laging walang kasama sa bahay dati, ngayon lagi na siyang may kasama. Kasi nasa boarding house na siya. Overall, I really enjoyed watching this film. I guess my last comment would be, considering na 2 hours yung film, sana may mga moments na pinahabaan pa natin. Katulad nung moment ni Brian tsaka ni Alan na nagiinuman. Feeling ko yung reveal ng anak ni Alan kasi ang laking bagay niya sa storyline ng character na yon. Feeling ko mas pinatagal pa natin. Like, gets ba? Like, sana nag-swell pa yung music. Nagkaroon ng mata-mata acting. Sana din may mga bagay na tinanggal. Like, yung beach. Hindi ko gets kung bakit may beach. Hindi ko gets kung bakit may lata and letters. Baka product placement. So, okay, gets. Tapos si Ryan bang? Bakit? Parang di natin kailangan si Ryan dito sa pelikulang to. And yeah, see you on the next one. Bye!